Hello, everyone. This week we have scheduled a library activity, and what I mean by that is that we'll have a. I want to give you this video, kind of quick tour of our online library database. I think it'll help you get some focus on your research paper, and it'll help you knock out some of the research work you'll do for this last essay that you're writing. Um, if you're on campus and click on library, you can do this off campus as well. But I think some of these databases, if not most of them, will only work if you're on campus. You might test that to see. Um, but it's a great resource, and I know many of you are on campus quite often. But anyway, you click on, in our course site, click on library. It'll take you to the library's homepage. Click on articles or journals. I'm going to click on journals here. And then click this link that says more databases. And here you will have an alphabetical listing of all of our online databases, and some of them are collections of databases. For example, this Academic Search Complete, an excellent source to do almost all your research in. You can see it has nearly 8,000 journals of full text that you can draw from. And they're all kind of geared towards journals that college freshmen, sophomore, juniors would use. So this is an excellent resource. You may find other resources that would work well for some of your other classes. Um, Another one that's popular down here, if I can find it. Um, I wanted to check this one out. This one's opposing viewpoints. All semester you've been writing argumentative papers, papers that make a point or argument. It can be sort of subtle or very straightforward. And that will be true also of your research paper. If you'll click on opposing viewpoints, what they do to help speed things along for you is they have a whole list of hot topics that people are debating and are very concerned about, and that's in the news, and there's a lot of scholarship being written about it. And you can see one of the choices is globalization. Your paper will have something to do with globalization. Now, that's a very broad topic. But you can see you can click right on there, and we're right in here. There's some general resources, which is an excellent place to start. There's some reference materials, magazines. You can filter by academic journals. You can see some multimedia files or go to some websites. So instead of just typing in Google globalization and coming up with 10 billion hits, what the editors of this site have done is gone and found some really rich resources that talk about this topic. You can click on that and go to it. Just to give you a sense of it, let's look at one of these. Um, like here, here's an argument that it actually reduces poverty in developing nations by opening up these free markets and allowing them to participate in it. Let's click on that. I think you'll find somewhere else that there might be an opposite argument about poverty. But um, you'll have the title. Uh, you'll notice in red is the search term that we typed in, the globalization, or that we clicked on. Here are some of the claims, some of the numbers that are out there, how it might benefit trade. So this can kind of help you formulate some of your ideas. If you're imagining yourself working on a outline, for example, some of the points would be there. This gives you a nice list of other sources you could check into if you wanted to. Here's a very nice aspect of it. It's all the citation information you would need to put in your works cited page. So if there was some content here, this would be a great resource. Keep in mind you don't use this URL address on your works cited page, but it's there for your reference as well. Um, There's also a link here on how to cite, and you can ask for MLA, and here it is saved in MLA format. Um, so it's very helpful. Let me back out of this one. I'm kind of curious about the websites. Let me click on that for a minute. Here's a Center of Research on Globalization. Here's a Council on Foreign Relations. How does um, our policies with other countries are impacted by this trend? If you want something a bit more scholarly, here's some academic journals. Trade versus security. So there's kind of an in-depth analysis of that. Let me back out to our database again. I have to click on, here we go. List of databases. This first one on the top of our list, Academic Search Premier, I want to show you that one too. It's another excellent source. Okay, before you type in a search, click on full text down here at the bottom. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of listings of articles that aren't on the database that just found them for you, but you'd have to find a librarian to order that article for you. You probably don't have time for that, and there's probably no need to do that. If you'll just go ahead and click full text, it'll refine your search a little bit, and then type in globalization. You may want a more refined search. Some of your reading assignments had a lot to do with immigration, for example. So you might type in immigration. Let me look at some of these. Some of the articles talked about how the American culture is being spread across the nations, other nations, because of our marketing efforts. Such, I think the one was on McDonald's or Walmart spreading to other countries, and that's somehow changing it. Well, globalization can impact what people eat, for example. So that might be a really small focus. Or maybe you're concerned with security. Um, there's certainly more travel going on. Here are some examples of how globalization is making an impact on what was previously perhaps a very remote location. Here's one about income inequality. So is it helping other people who have lived in poverty become more financially stable, or is it creating even a wider divide between the rich and the poor? That might be really interesting. I think I'll click on the PDF full text so I can view it. Get one of these, just click OK and trust. It pops up. Someday. Let me show you some of these other links while it's loading. Let's see. Yeah, right over here. You can email this article to yourself just by clicking there and typing in your email address. So if you're doing research on campus but don't want to read these articles till you get home, you might do that. Just simply click on that and type in a subject line. You can put your comments there. You can ask to include a citation that's in MLA style, and it'll do that for you automatically. And then type your email address in here and click send. It sends it along to you, which is also nice. It's doing your works cited page for you essentially, which is really nice. But there's your article. So it's a rather than kind of stumbling around on the internet, you can find some good information just surfing the web um, to help you get focused. You might even find some good resources, but to save time and to get a lot of quality resources that your audience will respect, um, I certainly recommend using our online databases. Okay, let's say you've found 4 or 5 uh, articles, and they're all kind of focused on a area of globalization that interests you, and you're ready to start working on your paper. You can go back to um, Blackboard, and I just loaded under Unit 4 a little sample of what an annotated bibliography would look like. Remember, that's one of your assignments, that you'll create an annotated bibliography that'll have 10 sources. You may not use all 10 in your actual paper, but that lets me know that you've kept digging and found 10 potentially great sources, and out of those you found 5 that you'd like. Another requirement is that you use at least one of your sources out of your textbook. So if it were me, I would use one out of our textbook and 4 other sources from one of our online databases. Very quick way to get it done. It's creating the bibliography for you. It's just, I mean, your works cited page for you. It's really nice. But anyway, when you're setting up your annotated bibliography, essentially that is a works cited page, or it's formatted like a works cited page. But underneath each citation, you have a little annotation. I kind of clicked too fast, but even on those articles, they have short summaries about those articles. Don't copy and paste, but put this right here in your own words, but you can find good information just looking at those short summaries. But you can see this is off our database. Here's the author, the title of the article. It's under in the database, or this journal. I'm sorry, the journal. No, I guess it's a book. It's the editor, all that other sort of publication information. This is the name of the database. It comes at the end. I found it on the web, and I just put in a date there. It's it would actually be today's date that you retrieved it. This is a source from our textbook. There are the authors' names. Notice that the list here is in alphabetical order. You've got BB here and Meredith there. Got the title of our textbook, the edition, the authors of the textbook, city, publisher, year. The page ranges range for the whole article, the word print, and then a short annotation. 1 or 2 sentences is all you need here. I just have 2 on here. You would want 10, and that will complete that. All right. If you have any questions, certainly email me, let me know. I've heard from a few students who are got maybe too many ideas to work on and want to get a little help refining it. I'm hoping that your reading assignments will help you do that. But if you need some more help, just email me and I'll be glad to help. Thank you. Oh, one thing I needed to clear up. This is an activity, you looking at this video and you actually doing some research, hopefully from our library resources. But it's not a separate assignment to be turned in. This is just to help you get focused on your last essay. All right.